Time to fly, time to fly. Never give up, we won't retreat. The ones who stand up.
Hello friends, and welcome again to another Street Fighter Duel video.
Okay legends, welcome back to the channel with another video for another boss in the TMNT event. But first, before we start that, a big achievement that I did on my account, I progressed to stage 44-8 and I'm gonna go and try it later. But the biggest thing is, for the first time in 1.5 years almost or more, I am rank 1 on the server in progression. And it's not because Tito is weaker or something. He's not playing. He's on vacation and he's being lazy a little bit. Of course, he can sweep chapter 44 if he wants. But this is for the first time I ranked 1 on the server, which is absolutely a big achievement for me. It's a big milestone and I'm happy with the account progression so far. I'm doing great, actually. I'm doing great. I'm still ranked 2 in everything. So that's also a good thing, actually, for a free-to-play account. Free-to-play, just a big achievement. It's like something mind-blowing. Now let's go to the event and check out the new boss, which is Mech Seth. And he's a little bit not difficult, but a little bit annoying with that you can't apply burn on him because of his passive. And it's not only passive, it's a passive that you can't dispel or remove with Zangief 6 out of 6. So it means you cannot bypass this and you will always not land any burns. So if you're playing your workbench and you have the gem that puts bleed, shock and burn, everything else will work except burn. So keep that in mind if you want to play it or not. It's up to you. It doesn't matter actually that much. So for the scores, we're using the regular teams that we use. Actually, I'm gonna show you what I'm using. So far we're ranking 6, I think, in this boss. The first one we were 12, the second one we were 15. So because I sleep, I go and everybody keeps beating the scores. So the next one, where Hugo, I just kept track before the restart and I landed in top 5, which is amazing actually. And then with Mech Seth, right now we're at rank 6 and hopefully we can improve that score and try to get, for the first time, maybe top 5 in Seth, because in the last event I didn't get the top 5. I think I was in the top 10, maybe more than the top 10. So let's go and check the teams. So basically we're using the Fire Aidon team. At the start, I'm using on him Witch Jury. You don't need to use her, but using her will give him more HP instead of him being burned to crisp. Because even if you take damage, if you have the Virgil EX, which I use on this lineup, and you drop it perfectly on perfect timing, sometimes he has the dot of fire on him or anything else, or he doesn't have shield, so he burns and dies, because I want to do the last rotation. So I'm playing it safe. I'm using this. I'm using Rose. Of course, if you have a Flame Chun, you can put her in attack position and put your Summer or Street Poison in the front line. So the rotation normally starts with Rich Honda, Street Poison, then Rose, then Fire Aidon, and you continue that until the end of the battle. Make sure that you're playing Fei Long to improve or maximize your burn damages. The second lineup, we're using the TMNT lineup, of course. Now I'm using Bison on my action guy. You can use Luke. I prefer to use Bison this time just to keep him alive for just 1 second for me to go and do a rotation. And I'm using Luke on actually not Michelangelo. Michelangelo is delaying my combos a little bit because of the action that he does from the assist. So I prefer to use Luke on top of him, and Luke will give me the stacks. And with having 4 stacks, I'll be taking no damage for 1 time, plus he doesn't take damage with his C3. Rotation is Leonardo, Donnie, then action guy, then Leonardo again, and this is how we do with the scores. For Visconti Vega team, I tried many combinations, and the best lineup I came up is with Psycho Dan, of course, with his buffs, because he keeps us alive and he's absolutely crazy and he gives us the boosting in damage. I'm using a Summer Elena. If you don't have Summer Elena, you can play, if you want, Gormagala can, or you can play anybody else as trigger character on the main lineup and put Summer or Psycho Dan in the attack position. It works as well. I'm playing the boys Yan and Yang for more combo meter. I start with Visconti Vega. Use Suitable C1, C2 from Psycho Dan, and then C3 from Visconti Vega. Now the trick is I'm using Kami and Vega EX. As I said in the previous video, I just drop it at the start, use his combo, slowly click C1, then C2, then his C3, Visconti Vega, to apply the bleed, and it will add and ramp up more damages until you get to the 51 second mark or whatever mark you want to start with, and then you go ham with Visconti Vega, Suitable, Psycho Dan, Visconti Vega until the end of the battle. The fourth lineup and the fourth team, I'm using basically the typical team that I set from the start that I'm using, which is with Viper. I tried Akuma Chun-Li, I tried Akuma Viper, I tried Akuma and many other units. It didn't give me the highest scores as this lineup got me. This lineup has the potential to get you to at least 1 billion, 800 million to 1 billion, which is great. You start with Viper, C1 from Fashion Blanca, C2 with Overlord Bison, then C3 with Viper. Now, why do we have a Summer Yang here? I'm using Summer Yang in case if Bison was exploding and I can't use his C2, I can use the C2 of Summer Yang. In case if Fashion Blanca died or anything happened and I can't use a combo, I can use his C1. The main lineup that I need the C3 with and the super is with Viper. And if Viper died, you can start with Overlord Bison and end with Overlord Bison. If you have him built, I am having him at S+ and still I'm doing insane amount of damages. If you don't have him if you have him built up, he will do actually more damages and you will get the highest numbers. So this was my score. 1 billion with Visconde Vega team, 1.5 with the TMNT, which can go to 2 billion if you have them all built. As you see, Visconde Vega, I have SS+ Summer Elena. I have A+ Raphael here and S+ Donnie here, and is still doing great amount of damages and scores. This is the team which I'm using for Fire Adon. 2.7, I can go to 3 billion. You can go more than 3 billion as well if you time it correctly and you mash your fingers on your screen to go and hit the boss. Actually, you can go to higher scores. And here I'm using also S+ on Overlord Bison. If you have him built, actually his damages will matter. Why his C2 is so important? Because it does damage reduction to the boss. Here we have with Rich Honda, damage reduction to the boss. Here we have Leonardo and Action Guy, damage reduction to the boss, and Raphael, scar stacks as well. And here we have a damage reduction to the boss with Visconde Vega and buffing with Summer Elena and with Psycho Dan. So that's why we do the maximum damages. Let's go and check the damages and the numbers and how we did the 1 billion here. So I'll fast forward it a little bit to ×4. I'm gonna show you when I drop the EX. And right now I'll drop the EX and I can start with free combo with Visconde Vega. As you see, slowly, I'm not hitting anything. And now the C1 of Psycho Dan. This time I started with C1, C2 of Suit Able, then C3 of Visconde Vega, and he took the full damage in the end. So this is why you need to wait for 10 seconds. And then we wait for the combo meter to ramp up so I can go back to back. I start with Visconde Vega, Suit Able, Psycho Dan, then Visconde Vega. And don't worry about the stun that Psycho Dan gets. Even if you press the combo of him before he gets stunned, it goes through. Or after he gets stunned, it also goes through. So no problem in that area or that department. You see he's stunned, but you continue because his stun is minimal. Because he stunned himself, but it never disrupts your combo chain. And it always works perfectly. So you can go back to back. And his stun actually is beneficial for him. This is one of his things in his kit. And as you see, Yan and Yang are dropping from the tag position. And they're giving us combo meter. And we're going back to back. We're getting the shields from Abel, the heal from Abel, the heal from Elena, the buffs from Elena as well. And Psycho Dan, and everything is keeping us alive. Very great run, perfect run actually, to get us the numbers. And here we took damage, we're still surviving with all of the units that we have. And in the end, I used the C2 of Visconde Vega to add damages because Psycho Dan has died. Great, and I hope everybody that has Visconde Vega to do this lineup. Now, if you had Oni, if you had somebody else, if you want an alternative to give you good scores, you can use a trendy Dalsim and a trendy Kami with their Shock. Shock inflicts a lot of things on this boss. He gets bleed and he gets burn. I think Shock, he gets bleed or something like that. Yeah, the Shock duration also by Seth. You can play Seth, the Seth that we have. Also, it's helpful versus this boss. The thing is that you need to build these characters up. I know many didn't build them, but they still work on this boss. Specifically, if you don't have Visconde Vega and you're playing something else on different lineups. The TMNT, just the normal run of the TMNT, I'll keep it at ×4. Almost nobody dies actually on this lineup. By the end, everybody I think take a lot of damage, except Leonardo keeps surviving and Action Guy kept surviving. I dropped the Pizza EX move and then I wait. By the end, I wanted to start. I dropped the other EX move for the Turtles and I start the battle. As you see here, bam, and we start Leonardo, Donnie, Action Guy, then Leonardo again, and we hit every attack. Make sure he does not make you whiff your attack by stepping backwards. So he steps backward and then we click our attack. So you need just a little bit of timing and then you're gonna get it all. And as you see here, we drop the Luke EX so Leonardo does not get affected if anything happens. And by the end, we still didn't die with our units. And now Raphael just died. He's a rank copy, so it doesn't matter that much. He did his job. He put every debuff on the boss. And the third lineup, which is the lineup with the Rich Honda and Fire Adon. And we also gonna wait a little bit until the 53 or 52 or 51 second, and then we start. He will be in the back line actually, so we're not gonna push him. He pushed himself actually to the back line, so you can put him on the underneath the firewall, unlike Hugo, and you can deal the most damages that you can. And here we go. At 52 seconds we start, and we drop the EX move of Akuma, and then the C1 from Street Poison, C2 from Rose, C3 from Fashion or Flame Adon, Fire Adon, and then we can go ham. Let's do it back to back, and just pay attention when you get to the 1 billion mark and the boss wanna do a super, just drop the Virgil EX move so he does not kill you. So we're at 1.2 right now, and he's gonna do it, and we drop the EX move, and bam, Rose survived by the end. You can continue the rotation with Rich Honda, then Street Poison, Rich Honda, then Fire Adon, and in the end Fire Adon, Rich Honda, Fire Adon for more damages. And this is how we got the 2.7, which is also good. Now, of course, you can do better runs with Flame Chun, so if you have Flame Chun, this will be easier for you. This lineup, now here I did the almost 600 million. Regularly, I do something between 600 to 700 million, depending on the RNG of the crit rate that you have and the crit damages and the nods that you took in your workbench. So here we go. Let's fast forward this also, so we can check the damages. By the end, I think Viper dies here. This is why I didn't continue the score highly. Let's check it out. Or Fashion Blanca, I forgot who dies. But Fashion Blanca, with his actions, with his C1, with everything, he gives you Wildfire. This is why we use him in this lineup. He will give Wildfire to our team, to the damage dealers, so we'll maximize our damages. And here we go, we start. So I wait a little bit and I start, and then C1 from Fashion Blanca. Look at the damages from Fashion Blanca, absolutely amazing. C2 from Overlord Bison, C3 from Viper. And it doesn't matter if we go low on HP. We want to go low on HP because it will give us the shields of Viper. It will add combo meter for us also if we get low on HP. And here, she procced her shield, so she gets more shields. I need another one to proc the shield, like Fashion Blanca or somebody like this. But I need a little bit of heal, so I did the heal here. So Viper wouldn't die, but everybody else will take some damages. And I did the healing. The healing EX actually helped me here to keep surviving, to keep me survive with Viper. And I used the C2 of Summer Yang. So, and sadly, I couldn't survive by the end with Viper, but it doesn't matter. And Fashion Blanca here did a little bit of damage, and that's how we got the highest score. Yep. Just a little bit of combo meter. You need manipulation with the shields of Viper, and that will help you a lot actually to get your stacks and get more scores. And yeah, basically that was it, how we got the scores right now. Now, of course, you can use different lineup. I think everybody are using Flame Chun. With Flame Chun, you can hit the 4 billion, 5 billion, something like that. TMNT also does a great job if you have Raphael built. And like you see, I did 1.5 with nothing else on my lineup. Still, they did 1.7, and they can do 2 point something. If I had Raphael as built as that, I bet I can do 2 point something. Just don't use Michelangelo on him, and he will be absolutely okay. Here, they were using Visconti Vega. Also, I did 1 billion with Visconti Vega. They did less because they're not using any buffer besides Summer Elena. I was using Psycho Dan, which Psycho Dan actually is insane for buffing your teams. Overlord Bison instead of Viper, the normal double Bison teams, you don't actually need to play them that way. You can play somebody that buffs with the C1, like Athlete Chun-Li from backline, and you can play somebody on the main lineup like Sagat and keep the whole team surviving. And when Sagat dies, he dies, but you will deal the damages that you want. So I will highly recommend to do that. And yeah, that was it for the video. I hope everybody has good luck, and I'll see you in the next one.
If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. If you didn't, we thank you for watching. And as always, stay frosty. Peace.
Time to fight, time to fight.